The reason why it is so difficult for especially a man to get over, to fully grieve, to fully let go of an avoidant woman is because men and women bond very differently in intimate relationships. And so, one of the main, basically, biochemicals that a man bonds with is called vasopressin. And vasopressin is something that is built and released over time. So it's almost like way more expensive than how a woman bonds, which is through oxytocin. Because essentially, I could get off my phone right after I post this, and I could basically have many, many hits, so to speak, if we're thinking about these as drugs, which they are. They're just drugs made by the inside of your body. I could have many, many hits of oxytocin all day. It wouldn't be difficult for me to start producing oxytocin in my body with or without the person that I just broke up with. But for a man, when he produces vasopressin in relation to an avoidant woman, he's essentially bonding his long-term future biologically, neurochemically, in his body, in his neural pathways to her body. Because vasopressin is so heavily associated with pair bonding with one person, it's extremely territorial. And that's not bad. That's just what it is. It's like the feeling that a man gets when he's like, this is my woman and there's nobody else. Like, I'm only looking at her. I'm only going to provide for her. She's it. I'm done. This is it. It's like monogamous, right? Women don't get that as much. Women bond differently. We bond through oxytocin. Like I said, we can produce oxytocin in a variety of different ways. It's a lot easier. It's easier for us to go out and get oxytocin. But for a man who's bonding through vasopressin, it takes longer to get that, and it's extremely monogamous feeling. It creates these stories, right? Because of this chemical in your body that says, this is the only person for me. And that's where the rumination comes from. That's where the looping comes from. That's where the I'm still thinking about her and willpower isn't working. I'm falling into a depression. None of this is working. I can't stop thinking about her comes from. It's because your brain is getting this feedback loop of like, I don't have her. Oh, I need to go get her. I don't have her. I need to go get her. I need to be with her. I need to do anything I can to get her back. And then your logic is like, well, hang on, this isn't a healthy person, right? And that's where kind of like the fuckery occurs, is that your entire body, your entire nervous system, it is literally like designed to be with one person. And for some reason, and we're going to get into that reason later, but for some reason, it has chosen somebody who cannot meet your needs. And so you are attached to somebody who your body is telling you the story. This is the only person for me. I will never meet somebody like this. I want to be with her. I want to be close to her. I want to provide for her. I want to protect her. I want to take care of her. I want to be the hero in her life, blah, 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 blah. But she is incapable of meeting your needs. You're fucked. Like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Willpower will never solve this. But there's a reason, because we are not experiencing anything new. There's a reason why, in a bigger picture sense of your own internal hero's journey, as why you have chosen a partner who cannot meet your needs, that you have bonded to in this way. And when we really look at that attachment to that, and you trace the attachment from that person all the way back to your body, all the way into your heart, all of a sudden, what do we find? There's a part of your heart that has been so severely wounded in the past, way, way, way in the past. I'm talking childhood in the past, most likely by mother, that is so severely wounded. It was so painful when you were that young age that it went dark to you. It didn't go away because you can't get rid of any part of yourself, but it went dark to you. And that's why this avoidant is your greatest blessing, because she just pointed a flashlight, as women do. Of course, some women do it in very unhealthy ways and non-conscious ways, and avoidant would be a very extreme example of that. She just pointed a flashlight on where you went dark. This is, babes, like, this is your opportunity. This is your fucking opportunity. Like, you're up to bat right now. Like, do not waste this time. Don't let this time go by and think that time is going to heal it, or that you need to employ more willpower, you need to make more money, or you need to go out there and be better externally. Like, no, 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 no. This is sacred, sacred space. And so if her body is avoidant, because she is avoidant, and it is inconsistent, then not only is he bonded to something that is not safe, is not inconsistent, but it also intensifies the drug of vasopressin, because people don't get addicted to a drug when they're using. People actually get addicted to a drug in the absence of the drug. It's when the drug is not with them. It's when the drug is far away from them. That's actually when the addiction forms. And so if you put all of these pieces together, when there's inconsistent love, it forms an addiction, because you're with something that's producing this very intense chemical cocktail inside of you. And then it goes away and addiction forms. And then it comes back and you get rewarded, and then it goes away and the addiction intensifies. And then it comes back and then you get rewarded and it goes away. And so essentially, your entire nervous system, I really want you to look at it this way. It's actually that your entire nervous system, okay? We have to stop thinking about this as love. It's not that it can't be love. It's not that you don't care for this person. I know there's a lot of emotions involved, okay? But if we stop thinking about it as love, right? Because it's not safe anyways. And we start treating it a little bit more like addiction. We start looking at the neuroscience of it. We start looking at the biochemicals. We start looking at like, wow, you really miss this person because your body has not been able, your nervous system has not been able to find a replacement for that. Your nervous system has not been able to heal from that addiction because it still expects the body, which is essentially the trigger to release those feel-good chemicals in your body, to come back, but it's not coming back. Now, where the inner work comes into play with all of this, because we're just looking at the biochemicals of it, is that your body also employs an emotional story on top of it. Now, emotional stories that we put on things are largely made up. The emotion is always true simply because the emotion is literally just existing in your body. But the story you're putting around what is happening is made up. The I'm not good enough, she never loves me, or she never loved me, this always happens to me. The I'll never be able to find anyone like her again. All of those stories are mirrors of the past, because all emotions are wormholes to a past experience, primarily between the ages of 0 and 7, just because that is when you are a sponge. That's when your whole entire nervous system and the stories that you're going to use for the rest of your life are pretty much forming, and it creates like a little filing cabinet. So even though those things with your mother, with your father, most likely your mother, with your family, any traumas, even though your brain can see that they are in the past, your subconscious part of your brain, which does not exist in real time, there is only here and now, is replaying those stories and plopping on the files from ages 0 to 7 on to this experience that you're having now with an avoidant woman. The experience that you're having now of withdrawal of love is strangely familiar, whether you realize it or not. And so people can get really lost in plopping on these meanings. I'm not good enough, this and that, blah, 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 blah. I'll never meet anyone. All of those stories that you're telling yourself, but you're never actually looking at the root. You're feeding the addiction because you're saying, I can only feel good when this person comes back. And you keep crying and you keep looping in your head. And then you keep trying to use willpower to try to make yourself stop looping in your head. And the cycle just continues again because you're not looking at the root. Or you're looping in negative self-talk. Again, not looking at the root. But as you continue to loop in that negative self-talk, you are reinforcing the false story, the false narrative from when you were ages 0 and 7. So to end the hamster wheel of all of this, you use my 4-step method. I swear to you, my 4-step method for shadow work heals all. I developed it because I worked with so many men. Men are like, listen, Kate, I don't want to deal with my emotions. I don't know what to do with them. They don't make sense to me. Give me a system. This happened so many times where I just started teaching a system. And the system, which I will link another video, I'm not going to go through everything right now, but the system is basically you start with choosing it. You start with knowing, wow, this is an incredible opportunity. This avoidant woman came into my life and hurt me so badly. And now I get to listen to my language very carefully. Now I get to wake up to the man I truly am instead of hiding behind the shadows of the little boy I used to be in man's clothing. I get to, because this woman hurt me so much, I get to be present to lingering emotions in my body and lingering belief systems I have been harboring my entire life. And I get to overcome them. I get to see the truth in them. I get to heal my past. So much so that I will experience more love, more presence, more of my divine mission here on this planet, more masculinity in my body, because I am becoming that king, that man that I know I truly am. You can't become that king. You can't become that really masculine man if you're harboring little boy wounds in your body. And I don't say that condescendingly, because women have little girl wounds too. So that was like not at all a condescending thing. It's just that if you are so triggered by this avoidant, this is a beautiful opportunity to take your awareness, use the top-down processing function of our brain to actually turn towards pain, right? We're turning towards pain. Animals in the wild can't do this, but we're going to turn towards our pain. We're going to turn towards that little boy. We're going to turn towards the things that you have wrapped up so aggressively from your childhood. And you're going to start unwrapping that like it's the greatest gift that God or universe or higher self has ever given you. Because it is. This pain that you're experiencing is the greatest gift that you have ever been given. However, the first step is choosing it, because you have to view it that way. If you're not viewing it that way, it's like you're having a really ugly pair of sunglasses that are dirty and have water spots and gunk on them, and you're looking through those at your life. You're never going to see the truth. You got to take off those gunky sunglasses, put on, either leave the sunglasses off or put on a really nice pair of sunglasses of who you are becoming. Then look at this situation, because then you're going to start to naturally be like, oh my gosh, thank goodness this is happening, because I know who I am. I know what I want. And this pain is serving me, right? Pain is not random. Pain has a purpose. And so after that first step of choosing it, you got to connect into your body. You have to get out of your head. You're never going to solve this with a therapist talking about this problem. You'll understand it better, and there's usefulness to that, but you will never solve it. So you have to get into your body, because your body is a roadmap to the wormhole. The wormhole will take you into the past, because the body is the subconscious. Okay, the subconscious is attached to the past. You are experiencing nothing new in your life. This is true for everybody. You are only ever experiencing repeats from past experiences over and over and over again, and thinking that they're new. So this situation with the avoidant, same thing. It is nothing new, but we have to look at it that way. We have to find the wormhole to get to the root. And that's what the body does. We got to drop out of the head. We got to drop into the body. Okay. And I have a certain process to do that. Again, I'll link the video. I'm just not going to go into all the details right now. Once you're in the body, you got to find what I like to call the gold. Okay. This is step number 3. The gold is a very special, very unique, very king-like or queen-like, depending on how you identify, part of your personality, or rather not part of your personality, part of your authentic self, part of your authenticity that has been safeguarded by years and years of pain and bubble wrap. Okay, the bubble wrap is the emotion. That's why we bring our awareness into the body. And as we're unwrapping this bubble wrap, like it's the best motherfucking gift we've ever had in our life, you eventually will get to the gold. And the gold is always one of 3 things. The gold is either a repressed truth or a desire, an unmet need, or a boundary. It is always one of those 3 things. And there's nuance to each of those, right? A lot of times people misunderstand boundaries. They think, oh, a boundary is what I keep out. A boundary is what I say no to. That's not exactly what a boundary is. This could be a very small subset of what a boundary is, but a boundary is actually what defines you. And when you are well defined, when you have boundaries, when you know where you end and another begins, that gifts you. That is actually the only way to have incredible intimacy with somebody. So if you're somebody that has been praying, been wanting for love, for your soulmate, to be in a committed relationship, to be in a monogamous relationship, to meet the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, what you're doing is you're actually activating every single part of you. And this is a good thing, but you are activating every single part of you that is incapable or believes that he cannot have that intimacy. That's why the avoidant is a gift, because she came along here and blessed you with the gracious opportunity of finding that wormhole. That wormhole has been hidden for years. Great. Now here it is. Fantastic. Wonderful. If you're really wanting that love and really wanting that intimacy, then you're going to face this part of yourself with the same love and intimacy as you would face the likable parts of yourself, the pleasurable parts of yourself, the joyful parts of yourself. It's all you, right? There's no meaning on it. It's just, but it is all you. You cannot say that I want to experience love with another, but I'm only willing to love parts of myself, and I'm going to hate and ignore and deny and repress other parts of myself. You're never going to get there, right? You'll be struggling with that for the rest of your life. So I'm giving you the process. I'm literally giving it to you. I'm giving you the process. This is what you do. Okay. So you've got to find the gold. It's one of those three things. When you find the gold, there's a very particular shift that you will feel in your body. And sometimes it's physical. Like oftentimes it feels like tingling. It can feel like crying. It can feel like sweating. It can feel like shaking. It can feel like a knowing. It can feel like an expansiveness. It can feel like confidence. It can feel like peace. It can feel like so many things. But when you get there, you will know. When you have gotten to that place, then you move on to step number 4. This is the final step and maybe one of the most important. But the final step is that you must take action on the gold, because your subconscious mind, how you're hardwired, will only believe what you take action on. So up until now, it's like, wow, you've just found this really cool pathway in your subconscious. And it's like, you kind of started to make a trail there. Like you maybe walked that trail once, but there's still a lot of weeds. There's still a lot of plants. It's overgrown, this and that. If you want that pathway in your subconscious, this is where you become the creator. This is where you become the king. If you want that pathway to be the main pathway that you take, no matter what in life, doesn't matter what's going on, doesn't matter if you're having financial problems or this person said this or this person did this or, your house, whatever, this or that, whatever, it doesn't matter. It does not matter anything external, because you could be regulated or dysregulated and you're going to default to what? This new pathway. The way to do that is to take action, because your subconscious will only believe what you take action on. And when you take action on the gold, meaning I know what my boundary is, I know what my truth is, I know what my desire is, I know what my need is, and you're willing to literally do something different in your life from a place of inspiration, not from fear, not from bulldozing yourself, not from forcing yourself, not from willpower. That's where people get it wrong. Okay. It's not about what you do. It's the vibrational state of your nervous system in which you do it. That's what solidifies that new pattern into your subconscious. And the first time you do it, it's going to be probably a little bit hard. It's going to be a little bit scary. A lot of times, especially if you take really big action, like you disrupt something massive in your life, like you break it off, you literally tell that avoidant woman, I am never talking to you again, and you block her. I mean, you obviously do it kindly. We're not here to hurt anybody. But you do something really big from inspired action, or you move, or you rearrange your home, or you start that business, or you get rid of half your stuff because you realize it's an old identity version of you, blah, blah, blah. There's a million things you could do. The bigger the action and the more aligned the action is, the faster your neurology is forced to rewire. And the second your actual hardwiring inside of your body rewires, then your physical, external reality changes as well. However, you should know that it usually tests you for a little bit. Usually the outside reality will kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it kind of does this thing where it tests you. It goes, are you sure? And it'll ask you again, like, are we still choosing this new neural pathway? Are you sure? Or are we going to react and go to the old pathway? And it's in those tests, it's really important. So sometimes you got to take action once, twice, maybe 3 times. But by that 3rd time, it's done. It's solidified. And that is who you are. You have now quantum leaped into who you truly are as a man. And that's the process of how you should be. And I never say should, because I never want to should on people, but you should be using that framework and applying it obviously to every single negative fucked up thing in your life, because it literally works like magic and it works every time, and your life will change ridiculously quickly. But you definitely want to use it for the avoidant woman. You definitely want to use it for the heartbreak. You definitely want to use it for the relationship that just fell apart. You definitely want to use it for your divorce that just happened, the job you just lost. You definitely want to use it for that. And especially relationally, because we need relationships in our life where so many people are so disconnected and are struggling and suffering. And I know for sure men especially are lonely, 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 lonely. And lonely is a huge stressor, right? Lonely is not bad. We can plug loneliness into this same 4-step process. But if you're loneliness because you desire intimacy, then let's get on it, right? Let's get intimate with yourself. Let's get to know yourself. Like, dive in there again, do what animals can't do and face all your pain. I'm giving you the process of how to do it. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you a couple links. There's going to be free options, there's going to be paid options, and there's going to be one-on-one options. So it just depends on where you want to take this. The free option I'm going to link is a video I did on emotional alchemy. So it is this 4-step process in a lot greater detail. And I've outlined some of the emotions, and it's about an hour long. It's free. It's on YouTube. So that's gonna be the first link. The next link I'm going to give you is another free link. It is a masterclass for men. It is free. It's 40 minutes. I don't go into the shadow work side, like all of this kind of alchemy inner work, as much. I do touch on it in the free masterclass. It's more about what I call the light side of like, who are you becoming, right? Because for a man, especially, you got to set the stage of like, hey, I know that when I'm done doing this really uncomfortable like inner work, that I'm going to end up somewhere really fucking great and it's going to be worth it. But for a lot of men, they need that. So that masterclass sets you up for that. And I will tell you at the end of the masterclass, it'll be like, hey, if you want more of this, you can join Mastery for Men. So that's my signature course for men. And that really does walk you through the emotional stuff, the inner child work, the shadow work, who it is that you're becoming, my journaling process that I've created specifically for men, and then basically how to just put all of the pieces together. So that is a 5-week course, and I might put that link as well. The next link I'm going to give you is Rewild Your Release. This is not specifically for men. It's for men and women. However, it's my most robust anything you could ever possibly do on shadow work, complex trauma, and shock trauma, meaning like PTSD trauma. So if you are the kind of guy where you're just like, whoa, like either I'm really inspired to do this work and I want to go all the way, with the inner work, I would recommend Rewild Your Release. I get mind-blowing results from both my men's course and Rewild Your Release. Out of all my courses, those two are absolutely phenomenal. But if you're wanting to go all the way, or if you're kind of like looking at this and you're like, shit, like either I know I've done some work, but I know I have so much more to do. I'm all of a sudden realizing things as I'm listening to Kate talk that I've never realized before. And I just realized, oh my gosh, this is like a way deeper well than I thought. Or maybe you're just like, I've never even done inner work, but holy shit, I need to do it. Or I know I need to do it. Or I know I had an abusive childhood. I know I had a neglectful childhood. I know my mom was so emotionally unavailable and I haven't even opened that Pandora's box yet. Then if you're on that side of the spectrum, I would probably recommend Rewild Your Release. The two courses are different, so obviously you could get both as well. I'm just trying to give you like the overview. And then if you are somebody where you're like, I'd rather just have one-on-one support, you want me to walk you through personally all of the shadow work, the inner child work, obviously get my eyes, my lens on your situation. I've been heavily trained in body language, face reading, subconscious reading, so it won't take me long, as it never does, to basically just figure out what's going on at the root and then help you solve it with really, really pointed like action steps and really, really pointed kind of inner work, things that will just get straight to the root. I will put the application as well. Actually, you can book one session with me if you want, but if you plan on working with me long-term, you do have to apply. So I will put both those links. Anyways, that is enough about that. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's always helpful when you guys rate the podcast or wherever you're listening to this. Give it an honest rating, an honest review. That really makes my day. I love seeing that. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.